Greetings, Safeguardians. I am Christopher Ramos, the Safeguards Research and Development Portfolio Manager. My presentation will cover new developments from the Office of Defense Nuclear Nonproliferation Research and Development for extended containment and surveillance of safeguarded material in geologic repositories. I'll begin by introducing our office. The mission of Defense Nuclear Nonproliferation Research and Development is to drive innovative research that develops technologies and expertise to detect nuclear proliferation activities and produce technologies for integration into operational environments. We do this by leveraging capabilities across the national laboratories, plants, and sites, and collaborating with universities and private industry. Within the Office of Defense Nuclear Nonproliferation Research and Development is the Office of Proliferation Detection, whose mission is to develop U.S. technical capabilities to detect, prevent, counter, and respond to nuclear security threats by investing in research and development at the Department of Energy National Laboratories. The Office of Proliferation Detection is divided into three teams: Material Production Detection and Monitoring, Nuclear Weapons Development Detection and Material Security, and Nonproliferation Enabling Capabilities. Nuclear Safeguards Research and Development falls in the Material Production Detection and Monitoring team. The Office of Defense Nuclear Nonproliferation Research and Development is the leading U.S. government organization for development of new technology in support of U.S. nuclear nonproliferation goals. Success with our broad investment portfolio relies on teamwork between headquarters and our exceptional national laboratory workforce. An example of that teamwork I will showcase are multi-lab efforts focusing on the development of tools that may be used to monitor special nuclear material placed in geologic repositories. Underground geologic repositories for storing radiological materials are being constructed or are in use around the world. In the U.S., the Waste Isolation Pilot Plant in Carlsbad, New Mexico is currently operational and accepting transuranic waste. The deep geological repository closest to being ready for use is the Onkalo facility in Finland. Materials under safeguards that are placed in future geologic repositories will require monitoring well into the future. It is important to note that the placement of nuclear material in an underground repository does not constitute the termination of safeguards. This presentation will discuss 4 related efforts aimed at solving existing and emerging problems in containment and surveillance. These efforts involve applications of radiation sensors based on scintillation and laser-induced breakdown to detect radiation at a distance while extracting measurements from long optical cables, the detection of disturbance using seismic and EM sensors, and the use of quantum encryption for intrusion detection. The project, known as Tripwire, is developing and demonstrating a multimodal sensor system for containment verification of nuclear waste stored in inaccessible radiological and deep underground nuclear waste repositories. The Tripwire system is envisioned to continuously monitor ionizing radiation and electromagnetic fields in the vicinity of nuclear materials buried in a repository. The system will have the capability to report on disturbances with a real-time alarm control station. The main detection system will use long-length scintillating fiber bundles to perform area radiation monitoring. These scintillating fiber bundles will be coupled to kilometer-scale multimodal optical communication fibers that will relay signals to an above-ground monitoring unit. Electromagnetic fields and changes in local dielectric conditions caused by intrusion and soil movement can be monitored using ported leaky coaxial cables. Electromagnetic field monitors and control electronics will be located above ground. Tamper-indicating self-diagnostic assessments will be done using optical and electronic time domain reflectometry in the scintillating fiber bundles and ported coaxial cables, respectively. The results will be a kilometer-scale multimodal system which will be tested and evaluated. Simulation and modeling will be used to inform the development and assessment of activities. The principle of operation is to perform simultaneous real-time monitoring of ionizing radiation and electromagnetic fields next to storage containers in underground geologic repositories. This work seeks to extend prior work on the concept to sealed tunnels or boreholes, ensuring long-term stability and maintainability, and will address tamper indication. This configuration will allow detection of undeclared access to a sealed underground repository. detection of non-natural activity in the vicinity of nuclear storage containers, and detection of the movement or removal of radioactive and radionuclear material from the repository. The effort has relevance under nuclear nonproliferation regarding containment verification and is meant to address the IAEA research and development needs regarding underground repositories. Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory is investigating a new laser-based method to detect the ambient ionization that would be present following the penetration of sealed nuclear waste containers. This continuous containment verification approach will enable remote detection over hundreds of meters through networks of optical fibers to the underground repositories where the waste containers reside. Each container in the repository will be equipped with one optical fiber sensor so that any breached container can easily be identified and located. This method does not require underground power or data transfer. The system will be powered above ground and located with a signal analysis station. Through continuous periodic monitoring, this method provides continuity of knowledge for a specific container. Technology under investigation leverages the newly observed phenomenon of monitoring ionizing radiation using electromagnetic radiation. The effect of radiation ionizing neutral air in the vicinity of radioactive material is to elevate the number of free electrons and ions present in the ambient air, reducing the threshold for laser-induced air breakdown seeded by the negatively charged species. This facilitates the initiation of the breakdown when compared to ambient conditions. This phenomena is the basis for the proposed remote detection of radioactive material through a network of optical fibers that extend into the geologic repository. There is currently no mature approved safeguards technology to remotely monitor chemical signatures or radioactivity and verify containment deep underground. While there are traditional radiochemical analytical techniques, they will be hard to implement in underground facilities. The direct detection of radionuclides is a more direct and straightforward approach. The use of enhanced ionization radiation sensing with lasers considers a new method that enables remote detection of the radionuclides. The proposed technology is based on the use of lasers to detect radioactivity levels that would result from a breach and fulfills all the requirements for containment verification in underground repositories. An Oak Ridge National Laboratory and Sandia National Laboratory collaboration is investigating the use of fiber optics as containment verification sensors with two modalities: passive monitoring using strain sensing and as radiation detectors. Oak Ridge National Laboratory is leveraging existing expertise with fiber optics to evaluate how they can be used to show breaches in individual casks using strain measurements. Sandia National Laboratories is evaluating how the same fiber optics can be used as radiation sensors by evaluating existing fiber optic radiation detectors. The successful outcome of this research will be a proof of concept demonstration that shows how fiber optics can be used to detect the breach of a cask in real time through strain and radiation monitoring. A key component of this project involves research into how fiber optics that detect strain can be modified to detect radiation. Scintillating fibers are a commercial radiation detection product, but have not been deployed in this scenario. Currently, there are no technologies for active monitoring of waste casks in underground repositories. Security and containment are achieved through physically closing off or backfilling tunnels where waste casks are placed. However, fiber optics have been demonstrated in experiments in France and Switzerland for use in structural and thermal monitoring of underground repositories. These examples indicate that fiber optic monitoring is a feasible technology for this environment and can be expected to endure such conditions over an extended period of time. Scientists at Sandia National Laboratories are investigating a next-generation fiber optic sensor that uses quantum key distribution technology for detecting breaches in nuclear waste containers and for transmitting authenticated spoof-proof sensor data between remotely located repositories and central monitoring stations. This concept addresses the safeguard's mission need for reliable, long-term containment verification of waste materials in casks and drums located in geologic repositories. The fiber-based, configurable quantum sensor link will provide ultra-sensitive detection of seal breaches and real-time status checks via ultra-secure delivery of sensor data to inspectors. This type of fiber optic sensor could accommodate many potential breach scenarios, including those for existing underground geologic repositories, such as those at the Waste Isolation Pilot Plant and repositories under construction in Finland and dry cask storage facilities like those in Germany. The main technologies that form the tamper-indicating sensor and the secure fiber transmission channel are elements of quantum key distribution that measure disturbances on the fiber arising from external stimuli and make it physically impossible for the intruder to falsify the transmitted sensor data without tripping an alarm. This latter feature of preventing data falsification is categorized as spoof-proof or anti-spoofed within the security communities and is unique to quantum sensor technologies. This advantage in the ultra-sensitive detection are the key quantum capabilities which differentiate this sensor from existing classical ones. The sensor consists of encoded streams of photons that transmit through conventional fiber and probe the container seals along the configurable fiber. The same fiber is linked to the central monitoring station for shot noise limited coherent detection of the probe signals. Due to the laws of quantum physics, this optical signal is spoof-proof and provides authentication and channel integrity checks on the sensor network. The technical basis for the quantum secure optical fence is the enabling of shot noise limited continuous variable quantum measurements of ultra-low light level signal carriers in the presence of loss and excess noise in the fiber channel. The approach to the quantum seal link will deliver coherent states between the transmitter and receiver and measure the continuous variable field quadratures associated with the encoded photon pulses. The results of the phase-sensitive field amplitude measurements will be used to verify the quantum correlation between the sent and received photon states. If the transmitted and received electric field amplitudes along a measurement axis show detailed matching up to a threshold level in shot noise units, then the seal link can be deemed undisturbed. Since the uncertainty principle and no cloning theorem govern randomly modulated coherent states, this correlation directly monitors potential false data injection attacks. If the goals of this new research are met, the quantum seal network design will bring new and secure tamper detection capabilities for containment verification in waste repositories. I have presented 4 main concepts for monitoring the long-term containment and verification of waste containing special nuclear material in deep geologic repositories. The first was monitoring special nuclear material in a deep geological repository via scintillating fiber optics. The second, enhanced ionizing radiation sensing with lasers. The third, distributed multimodal fiber optic sensing. And the fourth, a quantum seal network. Each provides potential tools to enhance safeguards agreements and overcome challenges of safeguarding nuclear waste disposed of in geologic repositories for as long as the safeguards agreements remain in force. I encourage you to see the team talks throughout the meeting.